Hello, movie lovers. Welcome back to Signatique channel. Today is all about fresh cinema experiences, and I can't wait to share my thoughts on the newest film making its mark. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into the recap of this exciting cinematic adventure. Movies start in by 2024. Global warming has become so severe that catastrophic weather has ravaged the world. Countries of the world came together to find a solution. The weather control system known as Dutch Boy deploys satellites around the world and manages to stop potentially devastating hurricanes in the skies above the seas and keep the world's climate stable. Jake Lawson, Dutch Boy's principal architect, must testify in court. Senator Thomas Cross is particularly unhappy that Jake created Dutch Boy without his consent. Unable to make a convincing case for his case, Jake instead chooses to simply argue with the senator and rationalize that the Dutch Boy has proven successful. Jake's brother Max tries to silence Jake to no avail. After the meeting adjourns, Max tells Jake that he was chosen to take over Jake's job and unfortunately fired his brother. 3 years later, a group of soldiers moves through Afghanistan. They come across a village covered in ice and snow, seemingly frozen in place. The soldiers discover frozen villagers at an international weather observatory. Engineer McMord secretly collects log data from incidents in Afghanistan. As he moves through the station, windows begin to break, and McMod is sucked into space. President Andrew Palma learns of this incident and calls a cabinet meeting. They came to the conclusion that one of the satellites must have malfunctioned over Afghanistan. Palma suggests sending someone to ICSS to clarify the situation. Secretary of State Leonard Deckham talks to Max and suggests that he bring Jake there, as he knows the Dutch Boy better than any of his associates. But Max says that asking Jake won't help. Max drives to Jake's house in Florida, where he meets Jake's daughter, Hannah. Jake doesn't seem too happy to see Max, but Max knows that many lives could be at risk, so he asks him to help investigate the incident in Afghanistan. We move to Hong Kong, where a heat wave is hitting the city. A man named Cheng Long, head of the Dutch Juvenile Service in Hong Kong, was leaving a grocery store when a carton of eggs fell on him. To his surprise, eggs began to fry on the street. Suddenly, the ground shakes, and then an underground gas pipe bursts and begins an explosion. As the power lines continue to burn, Chen runs through the city, causing an earthquake that destroys part of the city. Chen arrived in the middle of the bridge, admiring the ruins of the city with other residents. Jake agrees to go to ICSS, even though he knows he will be leaving Hannah behind. She tearfully said her goodbye to him before she went to spend time with her mother. When Jake arrives at ICSA, he meets Station Commander Ute Fosbinder and his crew, Duncan Taylor, Ray Dassett, Ian I, Adissa, and Al Hernandez. Together, they investigate the Hong Kong satellite, but the robotic arm holding the satellite malfunctions and nearly everyone is killed before it crashes, destroying the satellite and leaving them with no data to use. A massive hailstorm occurred in Tokyo, and enough hail fell from Hong Kong to destroy a bus. Qing finds out that she cannot log in and access the satellite and contacts Max. Chin warns Max that if this weather pattern continues, a geostorm will occur and catastrophic weather events will occur all over the world simultaneously. Chin learns that mercenaries led by a man named Rico are about to attack the office, so he flees from the office. So Max turns to Dana, a cybersecurity hacker. She learns that Max also has no access to the satellite. This means your entire system has been hacked by someone. Jake saw the hard disk stuck to the platter on surveillance video of the accident that killed McMod. He sets out to retrieve it, but his spacesuit malfunctions, leaving him on the brink of death. After returning to the station, he showed that he was able to board the Ute, but kept it a secret from the rest of the crew. He feared that one of them had deliberately sabotaged him. When Jake and Yuto try to search the drive, they are unable to access the information. Video of Jake calls Max and tells him how his father took him fishing. Max takes the video to Dana and says it's a coded message from Jake since her father won't take her fishing. Max uses his father's old phone number to decode the message and learns that Jake believes someone in the White House is the culprit. Max tries to meet Chen. Rico is behind him, and he pushes Chen into the path of about Max rushes to the dying Chen. He manages to mention something called Project Zeus. He relays this information to Dana before dying, explaining that Project Zeus aims to manipulate the weather and cause Earth storms. Jake and Udo find the log data in the locker where McMouse kept it, namely Dasset's locker. He initially believes they suspect Jake of sabotage and even holds him at gunpoint. However, they come to an agreement. We have discovered that a virus is spreading that prevents ICS employees from logging in. Jake contacts Max again and suspects Palma is behind the hack. To prevent a geostorm, you must restart your system using a kill code. The kill code is attached to the president because it is biometric and requires a fingerprint and eye scan of the president. Max tells his girlfriend, Secret Service agent Sarah Wilson, about this as he needs her help to capture Palma. Max and Sarah head to the Democratic Convention in Orlando, but as Max goes to warn Deckham and seek her help, he learns that a major thunderstorm is approaching the area. Deckham takes Max into a room and attempts to shoot him, revealing himself to be the real villain. Max quickly tells Sarah that he is planning a diversion to kidnap other Secret Service agents. While she goes to pick Palma up, she and Max put him in a self-driving taxi just as the storm hits. They were far away from the stadium when it was blown away by a huge bolt of lightning. Sarah drives through the city, avoiding Rico and her henchmen. They get under the bridge and manage to force Rico into the path of the storm, causing a bolt to hit his car and blow him up. Deckham takes the lead and attempts to role-play Max, Sarah, and Palma with one of his men. The car explodes, but they are not inside. Max and Sarah incapacitate the thug and restrain him until the police arrive and arrest Deckham, then take him away. Mr. Deckham says his plan was to eliminate America's enemies and make America rule the world with him as president. The virus begins to completely take over the station, triggering a self-destruct sequence. The satellite then goes out of control, causing devastating weather events around the world, including a tsunami in Dubai, a heat wave in Moscow, and a tornado in Mumbai. People are frozen, burned alive, or sucked in. Geostorm is then counted down to less than his 90 minutes. Jake soon learns that Duncan is the one responsible for spreading the virus. Jake tries to hit him, but then learns that he did it because he was offered more than what he was paid for. Duncan accidentally shoots a bullet in the window before Jake comes out. When the window breaks and Duncan is sucked into space, Max and Sarah trick Palma into sending a kill code. Jake contacts Max and says that the kill code will only stop Geostorm, not the self-destruct sequence. Max tries to help the brothers accept their love for each other, while Jake prepares for death. Jake rushes to get the kill code to the main computer, but Udo stays behind to help him. By doing this, they manage to stop Geostorm and put an end to all extreme weather. As the station continues to collapse, Jake and U2 find a nearby capsule. The station is destroyed and everyone assumes Jake is dead, but Hannah watches on at home with her mother and begins to cry. Max learns from a video from a nearby shuttle that the capsule is calling for help. The shuttle piloted by Hernandez stops to grab the capsule, saving Jake and Udo. They are brought back to Earth, and Max and Hannah are both relieved. 6 months later, Jake returns to his old job and is working on a new Dutch boy system for him. He, Max, and Hannah find fishing too boring, something they never did as children. We then hear Hannah's voiceover saying that we can't change the past, but we can only hope for a better future. And the movie ends here. Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed this film recap and want more, subscribe now, like, and share captivating stories with your friends. Tell me which movie you'd like me to summarize next. See you soon?